How's it going, everyone? My room is a complete mess today. You can see, like, I'm sitting on my bed. These are my sheets. You actually can't even see my face. There we go. So, let's cut to the chase, though. There's been a lot going on in our world kind of recently. I don't know if it's settling down or what, or if I'm just avoiding the news. But a lot of violence and a lot of hate, and I've been really doing a lot of listening, but I think, like, it's finally time that I put in my voice too. I don't know. Feel free to not watch this video, but feel free to watch it. So I decided it would be really interesting to explain how sustainability relates to racism and what environmental justice is to me. And yeah, because environmental justice is a thing. Let's begin with the video. A lot of what's been happening has been focused in America, one of the least sustainable countries I believe there is. We are very consumeristic and materialistic, and it's not great. And that's just something as well, being privileged and living here in America. The fact that you are able to come watch me, like I think I've said that before, I'll say it again. We have privilege. The fact that you can watch YouTube and you have free time to do that, it's privilege. As people that live in America, we are privileged. I know I've said that like 5 times, but it's so true. For the most part, there are some people, there are different levels of more or less privilege, but overall, it is an honor to live here. So I do some work for my town, some volunteer work, in a sustainability group that we just meet once a month and focus on how our town can be more sustainable. And I am a reporter for the group, and I write reports. So I've been currently working on a report about racism, and I thought it would be really cool to bring that to my YouTube and blog as well. The blog will be linked below, so feel free to go check that out. Or you're watching this video on my blog. What I'm going to say in this video all came from respondents that answered the question, what is the relationship between, or is there a relationship between sustainability and racism? If so, what is an example? So, just wanted to credit them in this. I believe there is a huge connection between these two topics, sustainability and racism. First of all, a lot of people of color aren't fortunate enough to live in wealthy communities, and yes, there are people of color in America, but when you talk about more the community itself, there are definitely different levels, like different classes of communities, like there are definitely upper class communities, towns where famous rich people live, and towns where there are a lot more homelessness. There's a lot more homelessness and violence, When I say wealthy cities, I'm kind of referring to those communities and towns that have lower pollution rates in their air, their water, sound pollution is a thing, yeah, like a big train or a truck driving by creates sound pollution. They can also control whether or not a company can locate or dispose of waste in their community. Companies tend to target low-income minority neighborhoods to get rid of polluting material that causes obviously many negative effects. Also, when these industries are located in large areas with high rates of people of color, they can contaminate the water. So, for example, lead contamination in water can cause developmental delays in children, and polluted air can obviously cause breathing issues, asthma, things like that. So no one is really benefiting from any of the environmental bad things, the inequality that there is because of racism, and the environment. And people of color can't control whether or not they live somewhere, really. It's, like, it's whether or not they can afford it, whether or not they grew up there, um, it's just kind of, it's privilege where you live, or lack of privilege. It all is based on, like, where you live is basically just privilege to me. That's my opinion. I'm talking about privilege a lot in this, and just to say, I feel that people of color aren't exposed to as much privilege as people not of color are. White people, we have so much privilege, just for the color of skin we have. Other people in the report I did responded with similar ideas. For example, one person mentioned that poor sanitization, plastics, bad transit, placement of bus terminals, living on the wrong side of the tracks, lack of money, and just a whole lot more. These all are just minor things that add up and impact people of color so much. So in the end, this has been a really educational experience for me. And these are just things that I hadn't really thought of, but I'm so grateful that I got the experience to ask others what they thought and to get more education on that. Not everyone can actually identify the fact that there is a relationship between these two things. So I'm really glad that there were people who I interviewed who couldn't think of any examples, and that's kind of sad, and that's why I'm here to discuss this video with you. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope I can see you all next week. Don't forget, the link to my blog is down in the description, as well as all my social media. If you feel like it, like, subscribe, comment, share the video. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.